It's your boy Miguel Z with the VOW Wrestling New Japan Rebound Podcast. I've got a guest for you folks at StocktonCon.
What up, everybody? Kirsch here, the voice and the host of StocktonCon. The value of wrestling is awesome, so subscribe on YouTube. Scan the QR code right here, now. Subscribe, check it out.
There we go.
You'll be glad you did.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, that part. Hey, man, shout out the value of wrestling. I'm right here with the Big Oos, San Jose. We're going to shut this shit down. Love and respect, though, right? Value of wrestling. Hello.
Man, thank you, brother.
Oh, welcome to the party, ladies and gentlemen. Is it hot in here or is it just me? Welcome to the Value of Wrestling. Welcome to your post-show for SummerSlam 2024. I'm here joined alongside with Mr. Paulus, Clarke, and of course, the New Japan Pro Wrestling expert, Miguel Z, the Z-Man of the Value of Wrestling. Of course, you know me. I'm the big time. I've been all over the channel earlier this morning as we open today with This Date in Wrestling History, where we talked briefly about the injury to Stone Cold Steve Austin at the hands of Owen Hart. Accidentally. Rest in peace, Owen Hart. No disrespect. So we got to start the day off with that. Then we jumped into a wrestling collectible short as one of the newest wrestling collectibles in my collection came in. Mr. Z, did you ever get yours?
Waiting on it. I just put the order in. I'm waiting on it.
Oh, you just put the order in? I thought you already ordered it.
No, I had to wait for her to give me the green light.
Yeah. So I got that set. I got the two sets. So that are up there, way up high. Sitting way up there on the top shelf now as we add and subtract. And I've got some more figures coming in on the Funko side soon. Can't wait to see those join the collection. And now I got to readjust my camera, get it back onto right way. Okay, there we go. Looking good, looking pretty. And of course, we had a big time ranch. We broke a bunch of wrestling news that was coming out today. Any big surprises? We talked about possible spoilers. Doesn't look like many of them came true, but we had a lot going on today. And then we had SummerSlam starting early with 3 hours of a basic pre-show for no real reason. I don't know what the necessity of 3 hours of a pre-show was. No matches, just reiterating the same thing. The only thing that really came out of all that was anything good was probably the CM Punk interview with Michael Cole. I think that was the only thing that really was worth watching it. It felt real. It felt true. It felt CM Punk style. It felt like a great promo, but otherwise, it was 3 hours of can we hurry up and get to the show? I'm surprised we didn't get any extra matches added into that.
As I understood it, they wanted to get a jump on an hour before Collision because Collision was also coming on earlier.
Yeah.
Than usual.
Collision.
But beyond that, like, I didn't
matches.
I didn't watch the pre-show. I didn't watch Collision.
I watched all the pre-show. I sat here and watched it. The interview with CM Punk was really good. The two they separated them out, so you got to watch at least the second and third hour to get it. It was a good segment there. Of course, I don't think there was anything dominant on Collision other than Sammy Guevara should have made his return tonight on Collision. And of course, next week for Mr. Clarke's enjoyment on Collision, Deonna Purrazzo is going to face Thunder Rosa for the 50 billionth time.
For the 40 millionth time!
Yeah, I know. Tony Khan's already publicizing that. And I'm like,
I happen to like both wrestlers, but still.
Well, but we've seen it like every weekend now.
Can we not close the book on that?
Like they've wrestled so many times, it's like I don't even know how to. I'm out of places to count.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, it's SummerSlam, and we got off to a hot show. After we got through the pre-show, we got off to a hot show. We opened the show with Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley for the WWE Women's Championship. And what a damn good match this turned out to be. And what a shocker twist if it turns out. We all had a feeling something funky like a monkey might happen. But I didn't know it was going to go the way it was going to go. I'm kind of disappointed. But anyways, these women gave us a damn good match. A solid match. The back and forth was good. This match was probably a contender for one of the matches of the night. This match was one of those you didn't get distracted. You were watching this match. Rhea Ripley continuously coming up. Definitely now a babyface. Completely turned babyface at this point. And Liv Morgan playing the dastardly heel. The back and forth scenario, the ongoing parts of the story that was in this, that Liv Morgan kept hanging in there and trying to figure out ways and couldn't get over Rhea, and Rhea fighting back. And then in the very end, at one point, Rhea was going to reach or went to go for a chair, and Dom stopped her, saying, "You can't win the title this way. You can't use a, you can't use a title, or you can't use a chair and win the title because you'll get disqualified." So she realizes, "Oh yeah, you're right. Let's go." The chair. Dom holds on to the chair, slides the chair in the ring as close to Liv Morgan as he could. After he took the chair, Liv Morgan crashed in the Rhea, hit Oblivion, but only got a 2 count. As Rhea came back to her feet, Dom slid the chair in the ring over to Liv Morgan intentionally, as plain as day if you were paying attention. And then Dom got up and distracted the ref, which set up Liv to hit Rhea with Oblivion into the chair, getting 1, 2, 3. After the match, we didn't know what was going to go on. The commentary team was trying to sell it like it was an accident, that here we go again, the same way Becky lost. Dom had screwed up and made these decisions. But I was like, no, this one was way more blatant, so why are we misleading? They were definitely misleading until Liv went out of the ring and Dom came up behind her, and they smooched, and Dom is permanently now the Dirty Daddy Dom, or Daddy Dom, and has aligned himself with Liv. So all we saw was a big setup screw job on Rhea Ripley. Dom leaves Rhea to go join Liv, and I wonder if Buddy wishes she wouldn't have signed that new contract with AEW if he'd love to jump over and come back to WWE to help out Mommy for a minute. But a good match. A really good match, an impressive match. More of a match than we thought the build was. The build was decent. This is an okay build. The storyline of Days of Our Lives. But this match was damn good. Your thoughts, gentlemen?
Let's also talk about, though, the fact that at one point, allegedly, her shoulder pops out and she has to pop it back in. The fact that she smashed into the table to pop her shoulder back in.
Whether that was
Tell me you didn't like that camera view of the broadcast team when it happened, because that just the overall reaction was beautiful.
Yeah. Whether that was legitimate or whether that was storyline that she pulled her shoulder that we had already, she had injured, popped it out of socket, and had to slam it back into socket by ramming her shoulder into the table. It really added to the whole overall arcing story here.
I mean, at one point early on, it looked like maybe it had popped out. So it's like, I don't know if that was prosthetics. I don't know if that was real. But either way, like, the story elements in this match, the match itself, just everything about this, to me, was just main event level.
Yes, no, this was definitely a great opening match. This
Definitely.
was definitely a women's world title match. Everything in this was amazing, was good.
No, I felt like it hit on all cylinders. Like it definitely, the crowd was hot going into the night, period. But this match right here, the intensity of a big fight feel, this could have main evented. There, no doubt, hands down, this could have main evented from beginning to end, and how it finished. I mean, damn! But we are going to continue this episode of Days of Our Lives.
This
to see what happens
must continue.
Yes, in many scenarios, it feels like SummerSlam was not an inroad to a lot of these feuds. Now Dom no longer aligned with Rhea. What does this mean for Liv Morgan? Will she be the new female ahead of Judgment Day? Or has Judgment Day completely collapsed? There's a lot to talk about there as we continue the show. But where does Rhea go? Where does Judgment go with Rhea? Where does Dom go into this field? And of course, after this match, Damian Priest burst into the Judgment Day locker room, clubhouse, whatever you want to call it. He was pissed off, asking where the little punk was. He wanted his piece of Dom. Finn was there to calm him down. Damian questioned Finn, did you know about this? Finn seemed to hesitate in his answer a little bit before he finally said no. Hinting, foreshadowing. Is there something going on?
Damian looked like he was ready to go on site. Like he was Dom on site right after that.
Oh yes,
for sure.
Dom would have died.
are the two original members, because they are original members, along with one Edge at the time, not the founder, but the two original members, Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest, on their way out of Judgment Day. Will Judgment Day live on with a different assortment? Is Finn Balor going to ascend to the top of this? I don't know. We have to wait and see, but there's a lot more to figure out in this show. But it really set up a lot of scenarios here. Who, what, when, where, why, and how's it all going to play out? Finn Balor
Right.
looking very, very suspicious in these moments when being asked these questions.
But that's just his facial work in just this segment alone was just excellent. I mean, just everyone, almost everyone tonight did an excellent job.
Yeah.
Anywho,
But we have to get to the one semi-disappointment, I guess.
yes, so we will get to that here in just a second as everything gets back to clicking. Anyways, the next match was the Intercontinental title match. Sami Zayn defending the title against Bron Breakker, and this match just was
It was a
flat.
match.
It just was flat. It wasn't. It was not better than they were better in their Money in the Bank match than this match. This match felt like they were not clicking on that same page. They felt off. They didn't feel like the flows of the match was there. And Bron Breakker hitting the Roman Reigns off the rope spear. Of course, yes, we know he runs 24 miles per hour, supposedly. He hit a spear, got the cover on Sami. Bron Breakker's your new Intercontinental champion. The crowd popped heavily. They were barking. The crowd seemed to like it. I don't understand it. I don't think it was the right move. The crowd was excited when he won, but after he won, then the crowd kind of fizzled on the whole idea. So I don't know. It wasn't a good match. And I don't know if you can blame it necessarily on the wrestlers, the build, or the excitement behind it. They definitely weren't clicking tonight. It did not. Money in the Bank was a much better match for them, but tonight just felt a shade or two of a step off. And Bron Breakker beating Sami didn't have that impressive Now, I know he bounced off one rope, off the other ropes, and hit that spear, but it was still kind of like, that's where we're going with this. It just didn't make Bron Breakker a star. That is for sure.
Right. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Considering this match only went 5 minutes, 42 seconds, if they had a longer match, do you think they could have fixed it?
At the rate they were going, I don't know, because they just didn't seem to click tonight. And again, I felt like if this was the results, this should have almost been a squash match. Sami could survive the squash match by Bron Breakker. The reason being is Bron Breakker, if you were going to have a 5-minute match, then it should have been all Bron Breakker dominant. He should have felt Goldberg-esque again. Sami Zayn dominated most of this match. Sami Zayn was dominating most of this match. Bron Breakker was fighting from underneath. Bron Breakker was in the cheers was almost the baby face in this match, which really made it more confusing. And then he hit his spear, but it didn't have the impact. It didn't feel like a finishing move.
No, it really didn't.
It was a spear. It was over, and you're like, okay. And I'm afraid the title is going to try to make the man. You did not make Bron Breakker a star tonight. They didn't make him a star.
It didn't feel top tier at all. It just very flat, and that's not a good thing.
Yeah, no, it was just, I don't know, bad. I mean, I don't know who to point the fingers at. A big part of it, they didn't seem to click like they did at Money in the Bank. What they did at Money in the Bank was great. What they did tonight, there was a few little hiccups. There was a few that you might almost call botches, but they kind of, Sami being a little more of a veteran in the ring, seemed like he kind of recovered and made it not look so botchy. But it just, they did not click. Like, the flow that they had at Money in the Bank was not there. This match just didn't feel anything. It happened, and you're like, oh, they really went there.
It was a match.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Attitude.
I don't know if everything was after Rhea and Liv gave us one hell of a good match that we went in this match and it was a drop. And of course, the match that came after this was a banger of a match. So it's really disappointing that it makes the match before and the match after really shine bright, so it really puts a more of an eye on how bad this match turned out to be. Speaking of the match after, we got.
I think it also.
Go ahead.
I think it just also boils down to Bron wasn't as dominant as he should have been. That we all have been saying he should be booked to be more dominant. And the fact that he hasn't been, and it's been kind of like this one-trick pony with the spear, which is, even that's been 50-50.
Yeah.
I think that's also what really hurts him.
No, I think this, if you wanted him to win in 5 minutes, you squash. Sami could have survived the squash because it would have made Braun Breaker look like a beast. And he needed to go in there and just run Sami over, beat Sami on the outside of the ring. He just needed to obliterate Sami in a 5-minute squash match, and it would have been okay. Sami would have been fine. But the way they did it, Sami dominated most of this match. That's what's even more confusing. It's like Sami dominated, and he got the win out of the coming from behind. I don't know if they're trying to make Bron Breakker a babyface or what. It's very confusing right now. Anyways, the match after that was for the United States title. Logan Paul was here, and we got Machine Gun Kelly coming down the ringside with Logan Paul acting like a security. If you're a Machine Gun Kelly fan, I guess you popped. If not, then it was like, whatever, who cares? He went over and sat with Logan Paul's other entourage. And then we got LA Knight showing up again in, I guess, the Hummer, the Prime Humvee. I guess this is what the vehicle is. He tried to break the window because the window was all covered in blue. I don't know. It was funky. LA Knight tried to break the window the first time. It failed. Then he got it the second time. It was a spot that was unnecessary. Then they followed LA Knight all the way out to the ring. And we had a great match here. LA Knight and Logan Paul. Logan Paul, I guess sometimes I feel like maybe we underestimate his ability because he came out and brought it. They went onto the announce table and hit a vicious spinning net breaker, and the table did not give. So you know that had to hurt both men. Logan Paul, the big storyline with Logan Paul all night was he's the Lex Luger in the new generation. If you don't know, Lex Luger was in an accident and had a steel plate put in his bicep. So when he was in WWE under the narcissistic gimmick and then under the American Made.
I thought it was the forearm, not the bicep.
The forearm.
Okay, maybe the forearm. When he was under the narcissist gimmick and then the American Made Lex Luger, he would use that forearm as his finishing maneuver because it had that plate. And so tonight they talked about the titanium plate in Logan Paul's hands. And I'm sure they've talked about this before, but tonight they were like really hyping it up. And I'm like, so is he like Lex Luger now? He went and hit that punch, but
basically,
LA Knight popped off. Logan Paul got the brass knucks off of Machine Gun Kelly's neck as he was wearing him on the neck. Went to hit LA Knight, didn't get it all. LA Knight hit butt force trauma, got the 1, 2, 3. We have a new United States champion. It is about time, but the match was good. It was a good, solid match. LA Knight is now a champion. He gets his big moment. Logan Paul can ride off into the shadows. But damn good match. Good, exciting stuff across the board. Don't know what's next for Logan Paul right now, but LA Knight's your U.S. champion. There's a lot of people that can come up and get it. Of course, we may get a rematch between Logan Paul and LA Knight at the next event. I don't know if that storyline is going to continue. I don't know what the status of Logan Paul is completely, so we'll have to wait and see. It does seem like after SummerSlam, Logan Paul kind of tapers off and disappears until Royal Rumble season.
that'll probably be a good spot.
Well, it seems like this is where he ended
Every
last year.
PLE, I seem to be saying the same thing. That's probably also fair. Every PLE, I seem to be saying the same thing. Logan Paul has no business being as good as he is.
Yeah.
He gets your attention. He gets under your skin. And even though you, as fans, as longtime fans, we know as a heel, we know what he's about, what he's trying to do, and it still works.
Well, and you look at the
But
build.
it's also good in the ring.
Yes.
And that's the most important part.
You look at the build of this match. The build to this match didn't have a whole lot to it. It was simple, basic, and didn't really get a lot of excitement. But when Logan Paul gets in that ring, he brings it. He brings it to a whole level. He comes in there to really do it. He doesn't come in there to pretend, put your old man down. Anywho, now he wants to stroke his old man. He's feeling up his old man. Anywho, but Logan Paul brings it again. Mr. Z.
Z. Any thoughts on this match?
Yeah,
He's too busy with the old man.
like you said before, it's like we seem to forget why or just how impressive Logan Paul is in the ring. A gifted athlete, looked really good.
Oh yes.
Minus the shenanigans that were trying to be pulled. I mean, we all kind of called it who was going to win this match. I mean, it was a long time coming, and just like any fan, for a minute there, I was kind of worried that he wasn't going to pull it off. It just, like I said, you couldn't really call it. But in the end, LA Knight gets his flowers finally, and let's see where this title run goes.
Let me talk at you, yeah. But yeah, no, great match, a really good match. Then from there, we went into the WWE WWE Women's Title match. Bayley defending against Nia Jax. And another good solid match. Giant Jax looking dominant. Bayley fighting from underneath. A great storyline here. The back and forth. Eventually, Bayley looked like she was going to get the win before Tiffany's time hit. Tiffany Stratton came running down with the Money in the Bank briefcase. Acting like she was cashing in to distract Bayley. Eventually, Nia Jax gets control and hits some vicious moves and then hits two Annihilators. Shockingly, get the 1, 2, 3 and become the new WWE Women's Champion. After the match, they spent a lot of time celebrating. They really teased that maybe Tiffy was going to turn on Nia Jax because the celebration went on a long time. They really left you sitting there, and then they cut, and you're like, oh, okay, well, cool. But yeah, no, Nia Jax is your champion. Tiffany has the Money in the Bank briefcase. It's going to make it really interesting how this is going to play out. The Queen and the Princess are sitting on top of the world tonight. Bayley, what she does next is going to be very interesting. Mr. Clarke is crying, I know. On the inside, at least.
Because I could, from our preview show, our Wednesday preview show, I did not foresee this. I thought we all acknowledged the possibility. Yeah. We all acknowledged the possibility, but I did not see this coming. I thought for sure either Bayley or Tiffany was going to walk out with the title by the end of tonight. Yeah. And neither did. I was like, what?
Yeah.
What?
And wifey number 2 lost, so I know that hurts. And of course, Mercedes Monet's on the market, so is she going to join the harem?
No.
No.
But you'll take Sasha Banks.
Oh.
If this were Patreon, I would have something to say, but we're on YouTube, so I'm going to keep
we're on YouTube.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't do that. Not tonight. Not
thoughts
tonight.
on Bayley and Nia Jax.
Like Mr. Clarke said, we acknowledge the fact that it could happen. But, I mean, I honestly thought Nia was not walking out with that belt. But, I mean, with the fact that Tiffy still has her briefcase, I mean, is she going to, undercut her at some point? We'll have to see.
It's going to be an interesting story. There's a lot more there. I'm sure Bayley's going to get a rematch. We've got some of what's going to take us into what is to come. Survivor Series starting to sprinkle in ideas, and the rest of the road, of course, the next big pay-per-view outside of Bash in Berlin, we also know is going to be Bad Blood. And there seems to be certain things that may have been set up for Bad Blood going forward. I don't know what we're going to get at Bash in Berlin. Bash in Berlin is going to be very interesting what matches they push out there. But I think one match is what is the next match. We will definitely be a headlining match for Bad Blood. I think this match in the reback will be a Hell in a Cell match, because up next was the Blood match. Out next was the Imperial Heat match. Up next was the true feud match, the true bitter rivals. When CM Punk and Drew McIntyre went one-on-one in the squared circle with Seth Rollins, decked to the nines, stealing people's shower curtains, maybe? I don't know what he came out in. But anyway, Seth Rollins was a special guest referee, and a very interesting special guest referee, and this was total shades of throwback to SummerSlam. I forget if it was 97 or 6. Bret Hart versus The Undertaker with Shawn Michaels, special guest referee. CM Punk coming out in the black and purple trunks, Bret Hart style, but also with a little bit of a almost looking like the American Dragon trunks at the same time. A little mixed flavor there. But yes, it was a true Undertaker versus Bret the Hitman Hart storyline that they threw back here to all the way to how this match ended. This match was good. When we thought it was going to be good, Drew McIntyre did everything he could to stay in charge. CM Punk kept coming back. Drew McIntyre kept putting him down. Seth Rollins played a very fair and tried to be a fair referee in this story. He counted it down the end. At one point, he let the guys go outside and battle for forever without stopping them. Then at one point, he turned his back and let Punk do something. And then Drew McIntyre had Punk under the ring and was going to monkey flip him into the bottom of the ring, into that steel part. And Seth looked like he was going to stop him and then said, "I don't care." Then they got in the ring. And then at one point, Drew got a chair and told Seth, "Let me do it. Turn your back. Let me finish this." He turned his back. Drew went to swing, but then Seth turned around and stole the chair. And then he went to go swing, I think, at Drew, and Drew ducked, and he almost hit Punk, but then he stopped. All of this was great. This was a complete throwback to Bret Hart and The Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, all these storylines. Eventually, the thing that really did this match in is the biggest part of the storyline, which part of me is like, I'm a little bit over it, but okay. CM Punk finally saw the bracelet on Drew, or Drew reached into his trunk, pulled out the bracelet, put it on his wrist. CM Punk saw this, let his emotions get the best of him, got the bracelet eventually off of Drew as he tried to put on he had the Anaconda Vice on, and then he saw the bracelet. Could have won with the Anaconda Vice, but was more worried about getting the bracelet. Got the bracelet, then got stopped by Drew. The bracelet came off of CM Punk into the ring. Seth Rollins saw it laying on the ground, and as the referee, he picked it up, but instead of putting it on his pocket, he put it on his hands, and this was the exact moment I knew, and you can ask them, I put in the chat, Punk's losing. I knew right then and there that he was losing this match because Seth Rollins had the bracelet on his hand. I knew as soon as he saw Seth Rollins wearing it, it was going to cause a whole issue, and that's exactly what it did. Punk was on top. He had Drew where he wanted him. And then he saw the bracelet on Seth Rollins' hand. He went after Seth Rollins. They argued back and forth for a minute. Seth was trying to say, "I just picked it up. I don't want it. I just picked it up. Put it on my wrist. I'm holding on to it." Punk calmed down, and then Seth accidentally got knocked outside the ring. Punk finally hit GTS on Drew, and had him pinned. But Seth took a while to get back up and get in the ring and counted 2 before he kicked out. Punk then got mad at Seth, like, "Are you trying to screw with me? Are you messing with me?" And so Punk's ire, Punk's emotions got the best of him. He went and took out Seth Rollins with a go to sleep, allowing Drew to put down Punk. Seth Rollins rolled over after a Claymore, the DDT. Come on, Drew McIntyre's finishing maneuver, not the Claymore, but the DDT.
The
Future Shock DDT.
Future Shock, yeah.
There we go. He hit the Future Shock DDT. He took the pin. Seth Rollins, almost reluctantly, as much as HBK did it when he caused everything to fall. 1, 2, and then before he hit the 3, he looked at Drew like he didn't even want to count the 3. Even though Punk just hit him with the GTS, you would think that Seth Rollins would be able to go 1, 2, 3 in Indian. No. He counted that last part fair and square. Drew McIntyre takes the big win. And then to add on to all of that, he sees the bracelet back on Punk's arm, rips it back off of Punk's arm, puts it back on his hand, stands on top of Punk as a defeated man and walks out and tells us this feud's going to continue. And the only way I see this feud continuing is WWE Bad Blood, October, Hell in a Cell. What else do you do with these two guys? I don't know what Seth Rollins plays a role in this. I hope it doesn't turn into a triple threat. I don't really need the triple threat aspect to it, but I want to see Punk Drew, Hell in a Cell, CM Punk getting the win. They need to lead in the shadows. Now, Seth Rollins played fair tonight. He didn't really do Punk dirty. Punk did Seth Rollins dirty, but they can play into another story if they want to. Even after CM Punk gave the GTS to Seth Rollins still didn't go 1, 2, 3 on Punk. So there was a story in there that if you weren't paying attention, even Seth Rollins wasn't willing to do the dirty deed, not to be dirt cheap or a bad pun, but he still counted the 1, 2, 3 fair and square. So there's going to be an interesting dynamic. I think CM Punk and Drew need to continue the storyline because it's about this bracelet. I don't think Seth Rollins necessarily fits in there right now, but it gives direction where if they're fighting one another, maybe Seth Rollins can get into the title picture, but he can also be the guy that's waiting in the wings for when these two guys figure out their crap. So hopefully they don't invest too much into a Seth Rollins storyline in this yet. I like the dynamic. Will Seth Rollins be the special guest referee now in a Cell? Could this be a whole new dynamic? I don't know. But I think CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, Hell in a Cell is where you need to go.
Now, one of the Easter eggs I noticed was that after the match, when Drew McIntyre took the bracelet back and he kissed it, it was on where it says AJ. So you think that's almost like saying he kissed his wife, symbolically at least.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I don't know if they're going to play that part up or not. They're going to definitely play up that he kissed the bracelet. But if they're going to specifically talk about the AJ letters or not, I'm just like, ooh, I popped for that so hard because if they do lean into it, that just gives Punk even more motivation to want to kick his ass.
Yeah, it was a solid match overall. I mean, Seth, like you said, Seth didn't do no one dirty. Punk let the emotions get the better of him. I was kind of, piggyback off big time. I was kind of right there when the bracelet came into play. I was like, I don't even think he's winning this one either. My pops even called it too, and he was like, he just screwed himself.
Yes, and it's
right out the chute.
It's a complete flashback to the Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, or Bret screwed Bret. Brett got into it with HBK, causing all the distraction, and this is CM Punk screwing CM Punk, whether we like it or not. And I love CM Punk, but it's the way it all went down.
Those were my words exactly to you guys off air.
No, I know.
Oh yeah,
Punk screwed Punk.
No, it was a great story, and can't wait to see what comes out of this next.
Yeah, I know. My pops was like, when he hit me up because he had just gotten home, he was like, "Hey, what did I miss?" And he got home right at that match. He was like, "Hey, what did I miss?" I let him know everything else, and we're not even 10 minutes into the match. My pops hits me up. He was like, "He's not winning. There's no way." I'm like, "Okay." And mind you, my dad is a lifelong wrestling fan. Really doesn't watch as much. He is the casual viewer who sat down and watched the rest of the show. And was hitting me up the whole time. And I'm like, man, if you want to talk, I was like, I'll go on air later. You too. I mean, bring it to the table. We're going to talk about it.
Yeah, no, it was, as soon as that bracelet went on Seth's hands, when I knew, and I was just like, damn it. So, but I think that this is going to be a match.
Story device.
I don't think we need it at the end of this month. I don't think Bash in Berlin, we need to rush it back that quickly.
No.
I think we need to let it stew. I think there's a reason to bring Bad Blood back. I think Bad Blood is a Hell in a Cell opportunity, and that's because it's Bad Blood, and the first Bad Blood, I think it's like where the first Hell in a Cell took place, or a big Hell in a Cell took place.
Yes, it is.
I have to check my history, but I think with them bringing back Bad Blood, Hell in a Cell feels like it's coming, and if there's any two people that need to be in a Hell in a Cell right now, it would definitely be a CM Punk McIntyre.
Yep.
So I think that's where that is, and we may have to wait for a little while, but I think we can let it breathe. And I don't know, Drew has Punk's bracelet, granted, but I don't know if Drew's going to be willing to give Punk a rematch. It's like Drew said tonight, now you can leave, go away. So what is Punk going to have to do to get that rematch with Drew? Because I don't think Drew's going to be just, I'll give you. Drew's pretty much like, I'm done. I got your bracelet. It's not over. It's still there, but the way Drew walked out tonight, Drew's pretty much done with Punk. But I don't think Punk's going to be done with Drew, and we have to have the comeback, and it's going to be a big moment.
Oh, not by a long shot.
No. And to answer that question, the first Hell in a Cell match, this October 5th, 97, WWS Bad Blood in Your House, Hell in a Cell match, Taker, Shawn Michaels.
Yep.
Where we saw the debut.
It's the debut
of Kane.
Yes, that was the debut of Kane. By God, that's gotta be Kane. It's gotta be Kane. Anyway,
So yes, it makes total sense. If we're gonna run this back, it needs to happen there. Hell in a Cell.
Hell in a Cell, Bad Blood. It's gonna happen. There's gonna be a Hell in a Cell match. Who's are likely two guys? Seth and CM Punk and Drew. No, not Roman and Solo. If you all think Roman Solo after tonight, I think you're jumping the gun. That's probably going to be the lead into your War Games match. And people are asking, well, where's Cody going to fit in the War Games if it's Bloodline against Bloodline? Well, I think you saw tonight, but we'll get into that jumping the gun here in a moment. Of course, next match was a banger of a match. The WWE World Championship on the line as Damian Priest took on Gunther, and these two men brutalized each other. Power bombs, south of heavens, slaps and chops and uppercuts. This was a brutal undertaking. These men beat the snot out of each other. We even got a razor's edge that Gunther got out of.
Gunther got some of his own medicine right up here.
Well, he had some left over from when he fought Finn Balor, and then Damian Priest just reopened those wounds from last night. But, I mean, this was a good banger of a match. These two men brought it. Damian Priest really solidified himself as a main event status guy. If you didn't buy him tonight, him going with Gunther was probably his best title match, even though he wound up losing in the end. This was probably one of his best matches he's had with the title. I mean, him and Gunther brought it. There was two big guys fighting. I know Mr. Z was excited because it felt like a big meaty men match and all the meat chopping.
Why do you gotta go there?
Because you know you like it.
Go there.
Because you know you like it.
And you saw that a mile away coming.
You started it a long time ago. You started this all a long time ago with the whole meat stuff.
I didn't start nothing.
Oh, crap. Do I need to go back to old AEW shows where you talked about the meats? Look at the meaty men, and all the giggling you did when meaty men came up.
No.
Anyways, Damian Priest and Gunther brought us a hell of a good match. Damian Priest hit the razor's edge, I believe it was, on Damian Priest, and then rolled him over right next to the ropes, which is very conspicuous. Finn Balor came out to, support Damian, who was fighting from underneath. He hit the razor's edge, rolled Gunther close to the ropes, and Finn Balor took Gunther's foot out of the view of the referee and Damian Priest and leaned it over the ropes. The referee had to stop the count. Finn Balor saving Gunther after a brutal battle they had on Friday night. Damian Priest got up. He was not happy, and then he watched the big stream where they showed the replay where they showed Finn Balor drape the leg of Gunther over the bottom rope, saving him. Gunther then hit Damian Priest went after Finn Balor to confront him. Of course, Finn Balor, after he put the foot over the rope on Gunther, turned his back to the ring until Damian Priest realized what happened, and then he turned and stared at Damian Priest. Damian Priest lashed out, or tried to lash out at Finn Balor for interfering. Gunther then locked on a sleeper. Looked like he was about to take out Damian Priest there, but Damian Priest got out, was able to get free, and it looked like he was about to take it back. But then Finn Balor got to the ring, and he saw this. Damian Priest went after him again. Gunther then grabbed Priest, hit a powerbomb, and then locked back in the sleeper until Damian Priest passed out. And your winner and new World Heavyweight Champion, Gunther, the Ring General, the King of the Ring, Gunther, has done it. Everybody called it. Gunther winning the title tonight. Not a bad thing. Don't know how long he's going to hold on to this title. I'm sure he's going to have a great match. I don't know if he runs it back with Damian Priest at Bash in Berlin. It may have to be that way, just so Gunther can get his win, but I don't know if I really want to see Priest lose twice in a row. Priest looked his best tonight. Priest has not looked as good or main event as he did tonight. Priest looked amazing. I was actually sad to see him lose tonight with what he did in the ring tonight. His performance tonight made me want him to be the world champion. Even though I knew Gunther was winning it, I actually was a little disappointed that he didn't win this because he looked so damn good tonight. This was a great match. Priest looked good. Gunther getting dominance. He is your new world champion. Who is he going to face next? How is this all going to line out? Who's going to be who? What are we heading for? It's going to get interesting. But what a match. Gentlemen.
Here's the deal. So we called it that Gunther was going to eventually, sometime this year, win the World Heavyweight title. We just did not know if it was going to be here at SummerSlam or at Bash at Berlin. Because you had reasons that could be either one.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you in the same boat. In the same that I'm sad that Damian Priest lost it, but I'm definitely not mad that Gunther took it tonight.
No. I'm only sad because Priest looks so damn good tonight. Like, I haven't seen him look this good
Absolutely.
in a while. But as a world champion, he had not been at this caliber. This felt like he was fighting for that title. Tooth and nail.
First note. This is how you present big men. This is how big men are supposed to throw down and tear the house down.
Who are you talking to?
You know, it's not often you see them go just
Huh?
anywhere. I thought Shane might want to know. I mean, if he was watching, you never know. But no, this is how big men are supposed to be presented, and this is how they're supposed to fight. And the other note, said this off air, you will never not after what I've seen tonight. I do not want to add these two men to the choppy world tour because it will put me in the ER.
Gunther, this is a special message to you, Gunther, the ring general. The ring general, king of the ring, world heavyweight champion Gunther.
The king general.
We are asking you, we are pleading with you that when we get to WrestleMania 41 in Las Vegas, Nevada, we are going to find you, and we need you to be the ultimate chop on the choppy world tour for Mr. Z, because now he put it out in the universe. See, there's one thing that in our chat we can put out certain things.
I just said I didn't want to
but
add
he
these
just
two
went
to that
on.
list. Did you
He
see
just
what
went on
he said?
YouTube in the global premise and said no, and now that's a yes. So we're gonna get it done. Choppy by Gunther is going to be the ultimate goal. Gunther will chop you. We are going to manifest destiny again. We did it with Matt Cardona. Now we're going to do it with Gunther. You better get yourself ready. You better go to choppy classes. You better go down to your local dojo and just take chops from everybody. You better, when we go to the SPW show, you better ask every wrestler to chop you. When we go to Realm of Warriors Championship Wrestling in October, you better ask everybody to give you a nice chop. Get that chest all ready, because it's going to be the Gunther choppy. That's going to be the main event. That's going to be the crescendo.
Extravaganza.
Yeah, that's going to be the main event. It's going to be the highlight.
Who's paying for the ER bill? Because that's where I'm going to go afterwards.
We'll figure it out.
But yeah, no, hell of a match. It's a messed up way for it to end. The questions coming out is, where's Judgment Day going after this? We're just going to have to see.
Well, it looks like the original two members outside of Edge, because Edge is gone, but Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest were the chosen ones by Edge before they kind of brought in Balor and then turned on Edge and kicked Edge out. Now, Balor's turned on them. Talk about a full story come around, and you want to talk about long-term booking. Well, there's a long-term booking. Edge brought in Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest. They then brought in Finn Balor, and then they kicked Edge out. Now, Balor is kicking at least Damian Priest out. We don't know how much. We got to hear the rest of the storyline if he was part of what was behind turning on Rhea Ripley too. But I think that goes hand in hand with the storyline that's been told there. I think Finn Balor will be leading Judgment Day with JD McDonough, Carlito, Liv Morgan, and Dominic Mysterio. I don't know if Judgment Day is going to go away. We just may have new players in Judgment Day, which is fine. I guess if you can have Bullet Club and New Japan constantly change people and leaderships and different elements, why can't Judgment Day be kept alive by changing leadership and elements? And you know what's scary? Finn Balor as the leader of Judgment Day, all I want to see right now is for him to bring two boys into the fold called Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. And you want to talk about a reminiscence of some pieces of what would be like a WWE version of Bullet Club?
Oh,
that would be two pieces.
That just warms my big old black heart.
You're not doing anything else with them. Throw them in that group. They would fit in that group very well because, I mean, you already have kind of that comedy and their comedy a little bit, but they can be taken seriously, and it would give them something to do to shine. Paul Levesque. Trips, Hunter, Heats, OC, and this new Judgment Day. Set it up like total Bullet Club. If Finn Balor is running this, he needs to go Prince Devitt, Balor Club leadership style. And they need to go scorched earth, at least on Raw. Let's do it.
So you're saying that they need the real rock and roller?
Huh?
That's Prince Devitt. Yeah.
I don't know that.
The real rock and roller.
Okay.
Yeah.
What I just heard from Big Time is he's doing his kind of Batista impression. Give me what I want. Give it to me.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Ah, man.
But yeah, no, I'd love to see this. I think it would be great. I can't wait to see Judgment Day. I think it should be a transfer of power. I don't want to see Judgment Day completely, fall apart. But let's say Balor takes over Judgment Day, Damian Priest is out, and Rhea Ripley is out. But that's been the story we've been seeing. Finn Balor's been feeling like he was escalating to power. He got his people behind him that are in this group, and it seems like Damian Priest was way more outside than Rhea. But I guess if you're going to take out Damian, you kind of have to take out Rhea because they're the first two. So it's going to be interesting on Raw. Monday's going to be interesting. It's going to be a hot night for Raw. That's going to be a damn good show to talk about.
That's right.
Then we got to the main event of the evening, which turned into I don't know. I think a lot of the other things outshined this match. This match was more of an anticipation match about who was going to do what. Solo Sikoa came out to the ring by himself. Cody, we came and he was sitting in his van. And
wait. So we're just going to totally side pass Miz on Truth and Jelly Roll?
Yeah, no, don't. No. Let's talk about that.
The Miz and R-Truth were in the ring. They were joking around about the attendance. They gave us the attendance. Then A-Town Down Under came into the ring and were clapping on them and then clapped on Machine Gun Kelly and Jelly Roll. This eventually led to Joey Roll getting into the ring with a steel chair. Miz and R-Truth pointed out to the Downtown Under boys or the Young Boys, whatever they're called, to look at Joey Roll. First, Austin Theory took a chair shot from Joey Roll. Then Grayson Waller took one, and then Austin Theory took a one-handed chokeslam from the big boy Jelly Roll. Very impressive chokeslam. But a great little segment here. Jelly Roll did open the show tonight with America the Beautiful and then his song Liar, which is a beautiful song. If you're not a fan of Jelly Roll, you should be a fan of his tonight. He's an impressive talent, and if you're not a fan of his after tonight, go to Hulu and go watch his documentary where he tells his story about how he went from Antioch, Tennessee, the south area of Nashville, where he dropped out of high school at the age of 11 and was pretty much in and out of jail. He spent 15, 16, 17 birthdays in jail, was able to finally figure it out when his daughter was born and had to come. It's a great story. This man is a convicted felon who has found a way to take what he's been through and take his experience and create a phenomenon that is hitting different levels. Because if you go to a Jelly Roll concert, you're not going to a concert. You're going to Jelly Roll Church. Go watch video footage of a Jelly Roll concert, and you'll know it's Jelly Roll Church. And I'm not talking like he preaches the Bible type of church. He preaches a message of self-healing, and that no matter how far down, no matter how much the world stacks against you, no matter how hard it may seem, there is a way out. He is, I don't know, go watch the documentary on Hulu, and you will have a whole different respect for this man.
Basically, it's not religious, it's about connection.
Yes.
There you go.
To put it simply.
Well, it's just him going, hey, if I can make it out of being in prison where I thought I had nothing, I was never going to make it out to the next day, and here I am today singing in front of 10,000, 15,000 people and changing lives. Yeah. No. This band is something special. If you want healing in your life, go listen to Jelly Roll's music. Go to a Jelly Roll concert. I wish I could go. I want to go to the one in September, but I don't like that big of crowds.
Yeah, so I was just called out on Twitter for this because I said, yes, he did one hell of a choke slam. But let's give our flowers to the man of the hour, Austin Theory, for taking said chokeslam
Yes.
and making it look like $1 million. The only time you're ever going to hear me really give flowers to Austin Theory until they figure out what to do with this man.
Fair.
No, it was a great choke slam, and Austin Theory took it, and it was impressive. And Cody Rhodes, good in it for a big man. I'm impressed. I was happy. It was a big moment. Glad to see it happen. Anyways, the world title match. Yeah. Solo Sikoa comes out to the ring. We go in the back. Cody Rhodes is in his pre-ring gear. He's got his tights on, but he's wearing his Cody zip-up jacket. He's sitting in his bus. The door opens. He walks out of his bus. He gets Pharaoh, his dog. He starts walking through the backstage area, passing people. He eventually gets to a point where they have his full jacket. He hands his dog off to somebody. He unzips his one jacket, puts on his big overcoat, puts on the mask. Oh, never mind. Got to stop. Before he puts on the mask. Was that before or after? Right after that. I think it was right before that he ran into the Enforcer, Double A, Arn Anderson. We got to see Arn Anderson back on WWE TV. And he was there to give the little pep talk to Cody, saying he's got friends. He even went as far as to say, I still got pull in these locker rooms. So don't worry, we got people coming. Cody then got dressed. He went out there, and him and Solo Sikoa had the match. Wasn't the best match of the night, but it was a decent match. They went back and forth. A lot of this was waiting for the shenanigans to happen. It was good, but I think a lot of the other stuff was like, okay, who's coming out? When is somebody coming out? But it was basically your elements. I mean, Solo's a little limited, and it's
this is the best I've seen Solo look for the role that he's been put in.
Yes, he looked good for the role he was put in, but he still showed a little bit of his limitability. He wasn't super dominant. He spent a lot of time jaw-jacking. Cody kept looking over at the entranceway for something. I don't know. This match kind of had a really slow pace. They kept doing kind of the same moves over and over again, too. I mean, there was a lot of Cody cutters.
Also, it's like you would expect Cody to look around because it was a Bloodline Rules match.
I know.
You never know when other members of the Bloodline.
Yeah, he really sold that what kind of rules was going to be because he really was watching his own back.
But they did a lot of Cody cutters in this match, a lot of disaster kicks. It was just kind
That's true.
They kind of stayed in this realm. Solo looked good for the role he was in for once, but he just I don't know. It was a good match, and it didn't really pick up until Tama Tonga Tongaleo, which is confusing. Why can Tongaleo get in the ring and attack Cody with a patch eye, but he can't wrestle a match? And they referred to him as the Gorilla's Destiny tonight. They gave that big pop out when they got in there and started beating down Cody. Solo didn't get the pin. Then out came Kevin Owens. Then out came Randy Orton. They eventually chased Tama Tonga and Tongaleo out. Cody started getting the uppers. He was about to hit a third crossroads on Solo when Jacob Fatu came out of nowhere, took out Cody, put Cody on the announce table, jumped off the top rope through the announce table, and unfortunately looked like he hit his shin on the table and suffered hopefully what looks like a minor injury. Because after the show, he was walking out with a limp with the ref. So his selling, I don't know if that was real or overselling because he couldn't get up afterwards and sat there. Solo looked like he was about to finish off Cody. Then Cody knocked him down with a kick. Both men laid, and the music of Roman Reigns hit. I don't know if they rushed it because Jacob Fatu was too hurt to continue whatever part he was having because it just was kind of really random that Roman returned at that moment. Both men were down, and the head of the table music showed up. Roman came down in an OTC shirt. So I don't know what the O stands for. I'm assuming the TC is Tribal Chief, so I don't know if that's the one Tribal Chief, the only Tribal Chief. I would think RTC would have been better. The what?
Original Tribal Chief.
Oh, okay, original. There you go.
One guess.
Yeah, original probably be the best one. Anyways, he came down in an OTC shirt. He came down, and the commentators like, who's he going to help? They were selling this. It felt very much like Hulk Hogan in the day of the NWO. Of course, there was no Bobby Heenan going. Is he going to join them? Is he going to help them? But yes, there was very much shades of when Hulk Hogan came out at Bash the Beach to help the NWO and that storyline. They're like, who's he going to help out? Well, is he going to go after Solo? Is he going to go after Cody? They saw that all the way until Roman ran in the ring. hit a Superman punch to Solo, speared him, then stood there, glanced at Cody, gave him the nod, the glance of acknowledgement to finish it, walked out of the ring. Cody sat there for a long period of time in total shock and awe before he finally realized it was time to finish it. But the whole time when he hit the crossroads and took the pin and everything he did, Cody never, ever took his eyes off of Roman Reigns for 1 minute. Roman would leave the ringside, or leave the ring, walked up the ramp, but glanced back ever cautiously. Eventually walked up the ramp a little more while Cody was celebrating in the ring. But even while Cody was celebrating, he still never took his eyes off of Roman. Then Roman stopped and pointed at the letters on his shirt. And this just kind of kept going on and on and on. And then they flashed. I don't know when this show actually ended because they went like to the press, the opening segment show where they were at the table. And then they went back into the arena where they were talking to the announce team. I don't know if that was the wait for Solo to get Solo and Jacob Patu to get out of the way or whatnot. But it was a good match. Wasn't the best match of the night. But now we have Roman back. Where's Roman going to fit in this? We know he's going to go with Solo, but I guess this does give you part of what you may see when you have Bloodline versus Bloodline. The only bad thing about this is Roman going to outshine Cody when they go into War Games if Cody is going to align himself with Roman, which after tonight, you have a plausible door for Roman and Cody under mutual respect to align themselves with one another. Because yes, we know Jimmy and Jay will probably be joining them again, and I don't know if we'll get Sami or if we'll get another Bloodline member. We don't know what part The Rock's going to play in this, but Roman made his return and helped Cody get a win. And some people may feel like Cody can't get a win without help, but there's always a story in a story. We just have to wait and see. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I know people might not like it, but there is some validity to that story. Cody is not really... Well, he did beat Logan Paul on his own. And then... who did he face before?
AJ?
Yeah, he took out AJ, yeah. AJ at Backlash, and then Logan Paul at Crown Jewel? Or was that?
Crown Jewel, yeah.
Yeah.
And then...
That's Crown Jewel.
Then at Money in the Bank, they were in a 6-man tag. So.
That's right.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, this just in. Triple H says that Jacob Fatu was a little banged up after the main event.
That's good.
But they're going to see what happened. They're going to check on him later. Yeah.
That's good. Hopefully he's okay. We wish the best to Jacob Fatu. We hope that he doesn't suffer serious injury because he's already red hot and the best thing that's in this new Bloodline version. And they definitely need him to continue the storyline.
Right.
It's going to be interesting to see.
He said overall it was a great match. It just drew out very long because we were just waiting to see what was going to happen. You know, it's just repetitive, but it kept you entertained because you're like, all right, it's getting a little long here. What's going to happen?
Even at the end, when Roman, Superman punches and spears Solo, you still didn't know if he was going to attack Cody or not, for the longest time.
Yeah, that's what
I was waiting to see.
They left a lot of lingering.
They definitely teased it.
Yes.
It's one of those, like you said, they gave you like the Hollywood Hogan film when Hulk came out and did his thing. It's like all you can hear in the back of your mind is just Bobby Heenan calling it. Whose side is he on?
This just in, Jelly Roll live on Twitter says, crazy. I lived a childhood dream tonight in the craziest ways I've ever lived it. Wow, man, thank you at WWE for everything. What a night.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Like I said at the top of the show, this definitely was not WrestleMania 40, but definitely had WrestleMania vibes for me overall.
Well, this is how a Big Four event should feel. The original Big Four. This is how it's supposed to feel. Everyone, like when we were kids, this was one of those pay-per-views that had that hype. And it delivered. The way I see it, delivered. People might not agree with us on the poll, but it delivered.
AEW fans going nuts.
Like I said earlier, when I seen the over what?
AEW fans going nuts after the attendance announcement with SummerSlam. Base Worlds on Twitter came out and stated this: AEW family, we need to show the feds we are better and need to buy every ticket to All In to help beat WWE. Please show Tony Khan love and the support that he needs as he does everything for us and the wrestling community. It's better for him. And we got to pop out, show out, and beat the Fed at All In.
The problem is, All In is not built to sell that enough tickets. Is it like 40-something thousand?
Yeah. Well, 51,000 I think was the last numbers. But anywho, they can go buy all the tickets. It doesn't matter. They're a dead floating company. And again, let's talk about the big point. People are going to get mad about this, but the Warner Brothers Discovery exclusivity clause has elapsed. So why didn't Warner Brothers Discovery jump on it before that exclusivity happened? And I don't care how hard Tony Khan preaches this, how much WB and him are good people, and they're all working and talking together, and they may get a deal done, but why hasn't the deal got done? We've been talking about this since pretty much, the beginning of the year? Why is it taking so long for a company that's supposedly doing so good and so loved by Warner Brothers Discovery to get anything solidified?
It's called somebody's looking at the numbers. Are they really making us money?
I think Tony Khan's shooting for
now,
higher
this is
levels.
me speculating. I don't have inside information. But I think a part of the deals that might be why it's not going through is I think he's still trying to get Ring of Honor somehow in this deal. And it's like, they don't need any more content. They need to work on the content they already have.
I don't know why you want to add a fourth show.
That
for
could
Ring
be right. You could be right.
I don't know why you want to add a fourth hour or 6 hours or whatever. Another show to your brand for a company like Ring of Honor that is, it has its loyal fan base. I know Mr. Clarke loves Ring of Honor and it has its loyal fan base, but I don't know if it has the vitality without a complete kind of almost a reset on Ring of Honor to get it back to the numbers it used to be. Because even Ring of Honor is not pulling in the numbers or the fan base that it used to be. And when AEW can't even pull in the numbers of the fans that they had in the beginning, I don't know how you're going to save Ring of Honor. And if he brands it AEW Ring of Honor, I just feel like that even tarnishes the true Ring of Honor brand for some of those diehard Ring of Honor fans that are trying to hold on to that glimmer of hope that it's Ring of Honor.
Absolutely.
It's Ring of Honor still, right? He just owns it, but it's still Ring of Honor. It'll be Ring of Honor again. What'll happen, I don't know, but I know those diehard
as much
fans.
as ECW was WWECW.
Yeah.
Ooh, we gonna get the mummy?
But I know there's Ring of Honor fans that are holding out for every hope that maybe they'll rebound. But I mean, it's just like if you put AEW in front of Ring of Honor, you've got WWE, ECW, and I think you're just a lost cause. And when you're not doing numbers on most of your programs, anyways, you have one show that you're doing over 500,000 on weekly. Your other shows don't pull those numbers, and then how many times do we need to see Deonna Purrazzo versus Deonna Purrazzo versus Thunder Rosa on Collision?
Not even on the main show.
And of course, now Tony Khan seems to have a new boy he's pushing. The proto, whatever his name is, Kyle Fletcher. The proto.
Oh yeah. And
Kyle Fletcher will be taking on MJF on Dynamite
I
this
used to
week.
MJF.
Ishii was on Collision, and I basically Claudio Castagnoli and Lee Moriarty for a chance to have a shot at the Continental Championship. I don't know who won, but. And somebody said, Ishii's a main eventer in any company.
He should be, but
it's just not a crazy video. CM Punk leaving ringside after his match stops to hug Stephanie McMahon.
Now we could say hell froze over.
What if he hugs redacted?
CM Punk hugs a McMahon.
Yes, I know.
One McMahon's good enough.
Right. The only one WWE still wants in their company or have any association with, at least.
Right.
Oh, I do have to say this. Logan Paul tonight, that springboard moonsault from the top rope to the outside was beautiful.
Woo!
I mean, he gives Charlotte Flair and Jacob Fatu and anybody who can pull off that moonsault a run for their money tonight. A springboard. I mean, he springboarded. Facing out, he spun, springboarded. I mean, the way he pulled that off.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Beautiful piece of work. Damn near overshot that thing, too. I was like, oh.
Yeah, that was the only bad thing. He almost went too far. But it was beautiful. I mean, I can't even overshooting it. It was just, he flew with,
it's still good.
That man soared tonight.
Oh, yeah.
It was beautiful. Oh, Joe Testori is going to be the new commentator on Raw starting September 2nd. Joe Tessie of ESPN is going to take over the Raw commentary with Corey Graves as Michael Cole will switch back to SmackDown to work with Wade Barrett. It looks like everybody's favorite Pat McAfee will be leaving here shortly due to college NFL game day.
That's right. Yeah.
And we'll be returning to that for this time being, but hopefully he'll return for special events or occasions. We have to wait and see, but that's where that is going down. I don't know what that. So, so that's why we're going to see that coming around September 2nd. We had heard about this signing a while back. We were just waiting for the official announcement. But Michael Cole's going to take over SmackDown, and Joe Toriari with Corey Graves. At least this man sounded really good in the few moments he was with Michael Cole. And somewhere out there is a documentary on the life of Damian Priest. I don't know where that is. I don't know if it's on the network, and I haven't seen it. I've heard it, but nobody's ever pitched on where it's at. So we have to find out where the... Uh-oh. Why is she crying? Somebody's in trouble.
I know.
Mr. Z? Mr.
That's
Z?
your wifey.
Mr. Z?
What?
Look at the comments.
It's chat.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know why she's crying.
Why do we have tears tonight?
I don't know.
Mrs. Z. The Z lady.
Oh.
One of the few people that we have working way behind
she-
the scenes trying to help us grow this brand.
Oh, yes, we do.
And we thank you so much.
Yes, we appreciate
very
everything you
much.
do. And we appreciate
have
you
to
letting
go
us
check
borrow
this.
your man to go do a lot of these events and take them away from you at times. I know.
Oh, no more Pat.
No
yeah,
more Pat.
she
Oh,
loves.
okay.
She loves Pat McAfee. Like,
Yeah.
I can
the
understand.
pop she
Oh, I
got
love-
when he came back after his stint with college. She was super juiced.
I love Pat McAfee when he's on
Oh,
commentary.
yeah.
I love Pat McAfee and Michael Cole together because it is the most genuine announcing I think we've ever gotten in professional wrestling anywhere. Whether it's because Redacted is gone and these two men can live and be who they are naturally, and also the fact that it seems
Yes.
Pat McAfee is going to do whatever he wants and say whatever he wants regardless of who's behind there. Like, Pat McAfee definitely does not need WWE money. I know he loves it, but he's got his own TV show. He's got ESPN, NFL Game Day. He's got all those things, so I know he doesn't need
Yeah.
the WWE money. So I don't know if that
Right.
gives him the guijonas, the grapefruits, to basically go out there and say anything he wants. Because there's sometimes I wonder, he said some stuff sometimes that you're just like, did you really allow him to say that, or did you just go rogue? You can't, you never know. But the thing
Well,
is,
just how he talks about Dom is my thing. Because
I know.
Just loud and
Oh,
clear as day, US.
On the
Oh.
table and yeets, and the way he's with Gunther. Yes, Gunther. You got. I mean, there's just so much entertainment that he brings to the game, and then when he's with Michael Cole, whatever is in Pat McAfee and whatever they did when they came together, it kicked it to a whole new level. Pat McAfee brings the very best out of Michael Cole.
Yeah.
Period. When Michael Cole is with Pat McAfee, and when Pat McAfee comes back and does his surprise shows and they don't tell Michael Cole, when Michael Cole flips out, when Pat McAfee shows up, you just genuinely get more excited because you can feel it.
Up.
Dude, Michael Cole loves that man. They have a bromance. There is no doubt about it.
For sure.
And I don't blame him.
Michael Cole and Pat McAfee are definitely the best commentary team in a long time. The closest genuine commentary team I've seen would probably be Mike Tenay and Don West.
There you go.
I would have to go a little
another
further
one.
back. The closest I see with them might have to be Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby the Brain Heenan.
I'll give you that.
Rest in peace.
Yes.
Legends in that.
Yes.
For that
But
one.
I mean, there was something special between them two that was just, you haven't seen that magic in a long time, and Michael Cole and Pat McAfee kind of have that same magic. It's a little different, and I think it's just because we're in a different era, but I mean, it's like, when two people genuinely get along and like each other, I mean, the only other great chemistry we saw at one point in time that we're not talking about was probably when Paul Heyman had to work with good old JR, Jim Ross. And they may have hated each other and loved each other, but Paul Heyman...
That was good chemistry.
Well, Paul Heyman knew how to...
You heard the stories.
Yes.
Yeah. This is where I talk about, like, I want to go to a Paul Heyman one-man show and have him, because he talks about that. He said that had to be the most beautiful love-hate relationship he's ever had. He goes,
Absolutely.
when he first started, he goes, Jim Ross hated him so much.
But he brought the best, and even at the end, Jim Ross acknowledged that he brought the best out of him in that time period. I mean, if it wasn't for what he did,
Yeah.
But yeah, no, SummerSlam was a great show. Lots of great stuff. The press conference is going off. The after show, Monday Night Raw, is going to be hot. As we see what the storyline going forward with Judgment Day is, we got to figure out what's going to go on with CM Punk and Drew McIntyre now, because Drew McIntyre intentionally took the bracelet and kissed AJ's name. It's just going to now. This is going to create a lot of speculation, and maybe it'll finally happen. And I know CM Punk has said he'd love for it to happen, but it's up to her. But I don't know if Punk's part of this, because I'm sure Punk has a lot to say in his creative direction. And I'm sure Punk has agreed to let this bracelet go and play this story in. And I don't know if he's intentionally trying to create his storyline to maybe get AJ to come back into the fold. But there's a door here right now for AJ to even make a return. That could grow into something fun in some fashion or way. I don't care if she wrestles, but her just making a return would be awesome. But I mean, CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, this storyline's got to pick up, because the whole thing is, if Drew wanted to take the bracelet, I might have said this is over for now. Will these two have a match down the road somewhere? Maybe. But right now, no. He took the bracelet back. He intentionally took the bracelet back and walked out with it. He didn't take it and kiss it and then drop it back. He still has the bracelet. So that tells you the story's going to continue. Monday Night Raw is going to be incredibly hot this Monday. There is a lot to talk about. The fallout and everything's going to be big talk. Friday, SmackDown, going to be huge, because there's a lot to talk about there. What is up with the Bloodline? What is the direction of the Bloodline? What are we going to get with the Bloodline? Is Jimmy Uso going to show up? Is Roman Reigns bringing in Jimmy and Jay? Is he going to bring them back together? Where is the wise man Paul Heyman going to fall in this? Is he coming back? And Braun Breaker pushing for an advocate. Will Paul Heyman completely leave the Bloodline and go align himself with Braun Breaker? Will that help Braun Breaker get over?
Please.
I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know if I'm going to please it. I don't know if I'm that excited for it, because I feel like if you were going to bring him in, it should have been before he ever got a title.
I like the idea, but the timeline doesn't quite match up yet.
No.
This
is what I'm saying. It's like, it'd be nice to happen. It would change the direction of him, but it's wondering, like you said, the timing, and the other one is how the fans going to react.
The only way this may actually work right now is that they brought Paul Heyman in with Brock Lesnar, and Brock Lesnar was there to come back to be the protector of Paul Heyman, but he runs into Braun Breaker And then Paul Heyman, again, strews Brock Lesnar like he's notoriously known to do to align himself with Braun Breaker. Right now, you can't really take Paul Heyman out of the bloodline unless you really put him with Brock Lesnar. Like, if you bring Paul Heyman back, you're going to be like, well, shouldn't he have something to do with the bloodline? Just to throw him in with Braun Breaker right now, I would feel would just not do anybody any good. Paul Heyman would do the hell of a job of getting Braun Breaker over, but I don't know if people would get behind that in the long run. I think it might fall flat like when he was with Ryback and Curtis Axel. It was just like you were trying too hard more than it is.
Oh man!
Of course, I guess you could bring back. I guess you could bring
Curtis
back
Axel.
Paul Heyman and align him with CM Punk, or maybe you have Paul Heyman come. Maybe you do one more. What if Drew McIntyre went and saved Paul Heyman? What if Drew McIntyre picked up Paul Heyman's contract and made him his advocate?
You're going to make Mr. Clarke choke.
it would fit into a storyline to continue that feud. I'm just saying. You may not like it, but there is more sense to that than just throwing him in with Braun Breaker out of the blue.
Okay, I'll give you that right.
Yeah,
I'll give you that.
I'm not saying you have to like that idea or theory, but I mean, if you wanted to mess with the Drew taking everything Punk, especially the Punk, we know they have a deep relationship between CM Punk and Paul Heyman. And if you're looking to get Paul Heyman where you could at least get him away from the Bloodline storyline, the only way you're going to get him away from the Bloodline storyline is to put him in with CM Punk or that storyline, or bring back Brock Lesnar and let him be the advocate of Brock Lesnar. If you switch him to anybody else, everybody's going to want to go, but hey, the Bloodline. At least with Brock Lesnar, you get it. With CM Punk or in that storyline, you get it. Otherwise, he's got to come back and align himself with Roman. So there is that. But SummerSlam was hot tonight. Much better than the build. That's freaking for sure. So I don't know if builds.
I said it the other night. Unless they shock the world and give us a good show, everything else to it did not hit par.
Logan Paul looking sharp tonight. Just all the moves he pulled out were just some great moves there.
I still can't get over the pop. The pop for Roman tonight. That was that was damn near an Attitude Era pop.
That shouldn't have surprised you though, if you look at the way the audience have been kind of getting behind Roman without him even being on screen.
Right, but just that was I had the sound bar on and I was like, oh wow.
Breaking news coming from Ringside News. Zilla Fatu skipped out on indie event in Michigan and was spotted in attendance at SummerSlam.
Now let's also remember though, this is, I believe, didn't he win the House of Glory championship?
Yes.
The Crown Jewel championship, yes.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah. Which, by the way, is a beautiful belt.
Somebody said, and somebody on the interweb
So whether it was just to watch the show or to
he was in the crowd,
have talks to be signed to the big company. But I'm saying where this is going, or this could go, excuse me.
It could go. It could go either way.
He was in the upper echelon.
Let that man do what he's doing on the indies, because
So he probably got a pass from family, but he wasn't down in he was up in the upper levels. So I don't know. He may have had a conversation with somebody, but it doesn't look like he was down in the lower end where friends and family would be. He was way up there from this picture. So he may have been there to talk, and they may have put him way up there to be a seat filler, or just, they didn't want him to be noticed by a lot of fans.
Damn. You got guys right now trying to sell their chairs already. That's all I see right now on my news feed.
That's normal. That's always happening after an event like this. That is nothing new. That happens pretty damn quickly. 72 people came through here. That is awesome. I see there's just some people in here.
Thank you for coming.
You're welcome to say hi and join us in this conversation. Tell us what we want.
Yeah.
Or do
No
like some of these
dancing,
other
no
trolls
singing
do
tonight.
and just put some random comment out there that we suck. We'll take it still.
Yeah.
We'll take it
Yeah,
right
I'm
on the
all for
chin. Because we got some,
That
strong
we-
jaws.
Okay, why is this being reported as big news in the world of professional wrestling? Huck to a girl was at SummerSlam.
Uh-oh.
Like, okay.
Thank you. I was saying that earlier.
Like, who cares? I mean, Mike's supposed to be impressed. She made a video. It went famous. She's got a little fame. Congratulations. I mean, I'm not mad that she's got a little fame and found her 15 seconds of fame. Yeah, Sean Ross Sapp was the big one that was like tweeting it out and going nuts over it. Like it was some big deal. Like okay, I got to slow down. I can't go there.
I told him, I was like, who the hell cares? I said, only you would notice this.
I mean, I'm like, blah.
Oh,
I mean, that's cool.
Another famous YouTuber reporting that Rob Breaker made himself tonight, and he's going to be the future superstar. I'm like, yeah, we agree and disagree with this man all the time.
He's still working on it.
Yeah.
During the press conference after SummerSlam, Triple H was asked about Stephanie McMahon showing up for the biggest party of the summer. When questioned about whether his wife has an official role in WWE and whether that's possible, Triple H only stated how much she loves being around. And I quote from Triple H: "She does not have an official role right now, but I can tell you this: she loves this. She absolutely loves this. Sometimes it's harder for her to love it, and sometimes it's easier. It's easier for her to love it again for her. She's enjoying watching. She's enjoying coming to shows. She's enjoying seeing everyone in the back. She loves it. So if I'm the little kid booking, she's sitting there right next to me, enjoying it and loving it. She's been in here. She's been in part of this her whole life." So to clarify the question about Stephanie McMahon, not an official part of the company, but she's right there with her man, which you can't be mad about.
Hey, as long as they put her on screen every once in a while, I'm happy.
I know wifey number 3, and then
That's a quick cameo.
You had Stephanie Baker in there, and I don't know who else.
Stephanie is original wifey. Deonna Purrazzo is current wifey. And
Bayley.
then we have
Bayley and Stephanie Baker now, and
I have no problem adding Stephanie Baker.
Io Sky.
I thought Io was more for Miguel.
Oh, okay.
No.
You're the one who back in what was it, some months ago or
I know.
last year? I don't remember what it was when she had the 2 belts picture over her breast.
Yeah, you're the one that's supposed to 2 belts and then the sister belts. I'm more about Kairi Sane. Of course, the only other. Let's see. I guess Stacey Keibler may have been number 1. I was always a diehard Stacey Keibler fan, and then of course I became a diehard.
Right.
I hate to say this on air. Please forgive me, Phil. Phil, don't hate me. I love you, Phil. But yeah, I kind of have that little crush on AJ. AJ, yeah.
Whatever happened to that adoration for Zelina Vega?
I'm not going to talk about Zelina Vega. I don't want to lose my head.
Mm-hmm.
Kairi Sane. I'll get Kairi Sane.
We'd like to have our head where it belongs.
Tommy, where are you?
Kairi Sane for sure.
Before tonight's G1 climax.
And then, of course, Alexa Bliss.
Zack Sabre Jr. holding an autograph session.
That's cool.
I wish I was in Japan, because that'd be a cool guy to meet.
How much Japanese do you know?
He's still currently on. Not a single stitch.
Yeah, you may have to.
So one of the things you need is a translator.
Well, he needs Rosetta Stone.
And yeah.
Is she cute? I mean.
Hopefully one day we'll make that transition to Japan.
Yes, folks, I know what Rosetta Stone is. I'm just making bad jokes.
Hopefully we'll make that transition. We'll be able to travel around the world. Japan, Australia, Europe, do wrestling all over the world. Mr. Clarke will take him down to Africa so he can see, what is it? What's that?
Talk Ground Wrestling.
Yes.
We'll
SGW.
take Mr. Clarke to that one. That'll be a good one.
Yes.
Maybe he'll go one-on-one with somebody.
Well, one day I in this world.
Have you seen what some of them people can do? That's like you taking a chop. Okay.
Okay.
Then maybe we'll have to go to the WWE experience in Saudi Arabia, I guess, because that'll be over there for a while. Maybe one time I'll take you both to the middle of the desert in Iraq in the middle of summer.
Why? So we
No, I
get
don't
chased
do
around by,
well with heat.
you know why? So we get chased by big ass spiders? No.
Maybe we'll go to.
Do not give big time ideas, punk ass.
Oh, all I have to do is stand around and wait for the camel spiders to show up.
That's a jump scare. He would consider it.
Did you not see my video the other day where I was at the pet store and there was a spider? Do you think there's a reason I didn't actually show the spider? I was being nice. I could have showed the spider, but I was being nice. I just hinted at the elements that there was a spider in that cage, but I didn't actually show the spider.
Was Mr. Clarke's response. That was it.
You think it's funny that to have me scream like a booch? However, that will be your death also. Anyone who knows me knows. Do not jump scare me. Do not do things that you know will get you hurt.
Also, you're the one that goes to like one of those haunted houses, the jump scared person out.
Oh yes, I don't do haunted houses
Yeah,
because I will put
he
my
doesn't do it.
real throwing hands.
It's okay. It's okay. In Vegas, when we're on the WrestleMania tour, we'll buy a plastic spider and we'll throw it in his room and wait for him to find it.
Oh no.
They will run like hell.
Well,
Bats have found knees for less.
and still, we got people coming through. Welcome, everybody. Welcome.
Oh, yeah, we have a lot of people here. We're talking about SummerSlam, other stuff that's going on. Of course, tomorrow we'll be back at 8 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time for your weekly roundup. We'll talk about everything that went down this week in wrestling and whatever's there. We'll discuss what's... I can talk, I promise you. We'll talk about what we perceive is coming
That's all, folks.
in the next week of professional wrestling. And then, of course, Monday we'll be here to cover everything that went down on Monday Night Raw, because it'll be a hot Monday Night Raw. Tuesdays on Patreon, you can catch New Japan Pro Wrestling Rebound Podcast. Wednesdays, you can catch it on YouTube. And Mark Them We Trust, I believe, is a new program that comes out on Wednesdays.
Wednesdays.
Yeah, so that'll be up on Wednesday. And hopefully some other content. We're always here Friday for your Friday SmackDown post-show review. And, of course, we have the Patreon. You can check in the description below. Go over there to Patreon. Over there, a lot of news articles, a lot of keeping up with information, and then some videos that are going to come that are going to help you keep up with Ring of Honor, NXT, TNA, and NWA. So make sure you're paying attention for that stuff. Make sure you sign up for the Patreon for free. Sign up for the free Patreon for now.
Yep.
The catching up series will still be on Patreon.
There you go.
But I've been thinking about dropping it on Mondays, and like you just said, those 4 promotions, with the addition of catching up with the 3 episodes or the 3 shows of AEW. So have all that as one podcast on Monday.
That's gonna
I have
be
to get to work tonight.
That's gonna be a long show.
Not really, because I've noticed a lot of the original episodes with just the 4 promotions was running maybe 10 to 15 minutes. So adding AEW, it'll add a few more minutes, but it's gonna be more like a proper podcast then. More like 20 to 30.
So that'll be coming out on the Patreon. So make sure you're joining Patreon. Patreon's free, and of course we're always doing surprise breakdowns of different videos
Patreon.
where we get uncensored on Patreon. And of course, I guess there's no big events until the end of the month when we will cover AEW's All In on August 25th, and then the Bash of Berlin on August 31st. We'll be covering that, so lots of stuff. Then we go from All In to Bash of Berlin to All Out. It's going to be a busy time. Somewhere in the mix of all of this, I'm still waiting to hear back from SPW, so we know when to go to their next show.
Yep.
And lots of stuff there. Lots of stuff coming. And of course, the end of September brings us to Lodi Comic Con and the big day with one AJ Kirsch. Can't wait to sit down and do that. Lots of exciting things coming as we begin.
Long-awaited interview
to the cooler seasons. We're going to get in the fall and then in the winter, and then we'll be quickly on our road to Survivor Series, and then on our road to Rumble, and then once we hit the Royal Rumble, we're on our road to WrestleMania 41. And of course, we can't go through any show without one thing, and it's this. Jesus Christ, you. Cat claws don't need to come out when you're jumping up here.
Cinder, damn it.
There's a reason I put you down there. Anywho.
I don't think that's what he was talking about. You okay?
Yeah, no. She just jumped on me and threw me off because she kind of had her claws out because she was going to slip, but luckily I caught her in time. Anyway, we got to play this one video before we get out of here because Mr. D loves it. It's his favorite video ever made. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Choppy Choppy.
It's the Value Wrestling. I'm the big time Mr. Z. We're here with the indie god himself, Matt Cardona. This is real. The Choppy Choppy is about to go down. Let's see it. Oh.
This guy just paid me $50. Matt Cardona, check out the Value of Wrestling.
Cool.
Alrighty. Mr. Z has to take a puff after watching that video playback. Gentlemen, SummerSlam, good show. Good solid show overall. Our chat seems to agree at 62% saying awesome, 23% saying good, 8% at average, and 8% at boring. Out of 13 people who voted tonight, 78 people have now come through. What an awesome show. What an awesome time. We thank you all for joining us. We thank you all for being here. Gentlemen, is there anything else you want to say in closing before we wrap up tonight?
See you tomorrow.
Yes. We'll be back for tomorrow night's weekly roundup podcast.
Oh, that's right. Today's only Saturday.
Yes, sir. It's only Saturday.
We got the weekly roundup tomorrow. Then we start again with Raw Monday.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick before we roll out. Filthy Tom Lawler just tweeted saying that tonight's bare knuckle boxing gave everyone old school WCW Hog Wild feels because it was in Sturgis.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, good for them.
Don't say that because Tony Khan will be taking some events at Sturgis.
Yeah.
Breaking news: AJ Lee has received backing for a WWE return. That is all.
Guess we'll be watching to see what happens.
You were saying, Mr. Clarke.
Basically, I was trying to close up shop. I was just going to say thank you for everyone who's been watching. We appreciate you all. And we'll see you again tomorrow night, the Weekly Roundup podcast.
Yes, the Weekly Roundup podcast right here on YouTube at 8 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. That's 8 p.m. Pacific Time. So make sure you're here for that. Ring that bell for notifications. Give this video a big old thumbs up. Ring that bell or hit that subscribe button. Help us grow. In the numbers, we're sitting at 556. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Join the Value Wrestling family. We're on that march to 1,000. Ladies and gentlemen, I promise you, it's going to be a lot of fun once we break those big numbers, a big celebration. Oh, yeah, and tomorrow night is a huge event because tomorrow night is officially episode 52 of the Weekly Roundup. 1 year of Weekly Roundups coming at you. Big event tomorrow night, episode 52. We have Big Time Ranch, episode 103 out there. And the New Japan Rebound podcast reaching numbers never seen before, over 100 viewers so far. So people are finding the New Japan Rebound podcast, something that's especially on this channel. You're not going to see many other places. And we're excited for you to be here and be a part of that. So Value Wrestling is the home and the future of the IWC. We're going to take it by storm. So just know we're coming, and we're coming big. And you want to get on that bandwagon now. Gentlemen, say goodnight. Say goodnight. Say something. Say anybody mo.
Good night.
There we go.
No, nothing.